Welcome to my review of Westworld. After binging through um, Game of Thrones in the past 3 weeks, all 5 seasons, it's time to move on to Westworld. I did not um, pay that much attention to anyone else review or write-ups. I heard a little bit about Westworld from many people, but as with Game of Thrones, I was successful in not hearing any spoilers, so I went into Westworld knowing nothing. In fact, I couldn't tell you why the title is called Westworld. That being said, this is a tough series to review and to recommend. Um, Unlike Game of Thrones, uh, where it was easy for me to binge through 5 seasons. In fact, I have to hold back from watching the entire 5 seasons in 3 days and just pace myself. But it was a very good show. I love it. I thoroughly enjoy it. Westworld, the first half of the season, there's 10 episodes. The first half of the season was not easy for me to watch, in all honesty. I watched it, but not that I did not dislike the show. I find it interesting enough and intriguing enough to keep watching, but at the same time, it was not something that it's not a show that by the end of the episode I'm just like, I can't wait to see what happened next episode and want to watch the next episodes right away. It was not like that. So for me, what was difficult in the first half of the season, the first 4 or so episodes, is that I got it. Okay, I understand. After the first episode was a lot of question, like what the heck is going on. I don't really understand what's real, what's not, and why things are what they are. But then by the second episode, I got it. I got that this is the make-believe world that they created, where guests can play in this fantasy story, play a role, and the host, named for replica, um, can interact with you. You can play a story out, and participate in a story, and you cannot get hurt while the host can get hurt. That was interesting. And because these are replica, because these are characters that die, came back, die, came back, I have a really hard time bonding or caring for any of these characters. They start to get interesting once some of them start to get a glimpse of memories and start to question what the heck is going on. I think that is when I really find them more interesting compared to the first few episodes. This is a spoiler-filled review, so I want to give my rating right now, and then for those that have not seen the series, you can stop and come back later after you watch the series if you choose to watch it. As with my review, 5 and below is avoid, don't waste your time. 6 and 7 is proceed with caution. It might not be for everybody. I might like it, but it might not be for everybody. A show that have a rating of 6 or 7 have issues, but it's not a complete waste of time to watch it. 8 and above is highly recommended or must see. Okay, this one is a tough one to rate. It's a very weak 8 in my opinion. and mainly the score came more because of the second half of the season. I felt I felt that the show picked up by episode 5 and become much more interesting and intriguing and engaging in the second half. That's how it earned an 8 out of 10 for me. And that's the spoiler free portion of this review. So if you have not seen the show, bye bye. Okay, back to spoilers. Um, did not know that this show was created by one of the Nolan brothers, but by the time the credits start to roll, I saw the name. So I have trust in the Nolan. I'm a fan of the Nolan. I'm not a huge fan, as some other people are, but I like them. I think they have a formula. Okay, there's something about the Nolan and time and space that you can expect out of many of the projects they involve it. So when I saw the name Nolan, it started to trigger in my mind what I can expect out of the show, and for sure halfway through the season I see it, because it was confusing in the first half because I have a hard time telling when what is current, what's the past, what's memory, what is actual. All of that, it is very much part of what the Nolan like to do with their storytelling, in my opinion. I liked it, but at the same time, it's a formula that they have used in many movies and TV show where time and space has a big part in just about every story that they like to tell or told in the past. Um, as I mentioned in my previous portion of the spoiler free, that it's hard for me to get excited or felt connected to many of the characters, because in my mind they weren't real. I'm not vested in their journey because there wasn't one until I think when the character, I can't remember her name, but the name of the character, but the Tandy Newton, that character, when she start to experience memory, that was the turning point for me as far as my interest in the show. My interest in the show picked up significantly because for many of the characters, even Dolores, I just didn't find her all that interesting, even though her character and her journey and her storyline was more interesting in the second half of the season. I still don't really care for her character. Maybe just me. James Marsden, I think, Cyclops in the X-Men movie. Oh, like I said, when you see the same character being shot and killed multiple times, sometimes multiple times in an episode, you kind of not pay attention. I have a hard time pay attention to what their storyline was, but as far as Anthony Hopkins' character, Bernard character, that's really interesting. I love the twist that involved those characters. So Bernard, fantastic. I thoroughly enjoy whenever Bernard is on the screen. You betcha I paid attention. Whenever Anthony Hopkins is on the screen, that got my attention. But and then of course, you know, Dolores and James Marsden really didn't capture my attention for the most part. Tandy Newton character start to capture my attention halfway through the season and become probably my favorite character by the end of the season because of what happened to her. The one thing that I didn't like was, the technicians. The one technician that decided to help Newton character, that was never, at least for me. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I need to go back and rewatch an episode. But I fail to understand his deep reason, if there is one, why he want to help Newton. I failed to see that part. That's a minor problem for me. But it's I thought the show is clever. I think that's the best description I can give to Westworld. It's clever. You have to pay attention. I had to pay attention, and thankfully, the show picked up halfway through the season that it grabbed my attention and held my attention for the rest of the remaining 5 episodes, because it was tough to sit through the first 5 episodes, the first 4 for sure for me, because I didn't really care for any of the characters, and I just didn't know where the show was going. Um, Now, the one character of the show that threw me for a big surprise is, of course, the Man in Black. The Man in Black was not um, was a character that I didn't care for most of the season. And in fact, I found his quest a bit annoying, because perhaps I was impatient with what the heck was going on with the character. But once the twist was revealed, him being William being the Man in Black of the past, that was when it's like, wow, big nod to Nolan for pulling that surprise on me and other viewers, of course. So overall, I think the second half of the season saved the show for me, because I don't think I would have give the show an 8 out of 10 through the first 3 or 4 episodes. But once it settled in, I enjoyed the show, and I would recommend it for those that have HBO, have access to the show, to watch it. The music, from the get go, I have to say that the whoever that wrote the opening theme music for the show, fantastic. I love it. It's just catchy. Okay, it's catchy. I play that opening themes many times. Even when the show is over, I go back and start the first 3 or 4 minutes just to hear that music again. It's a beautifully written piece of music. Anyhow, that's my review for Westworld. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.